So I'm going to use a $5 bill to explain why I like to blog and vlog and tell my story. Is because I like stories. I like to collect things that are stories. And like this is a story right here. So I just found this while I was doing a transaction at O'Reilly's. Instead of paying the shop to fix my car $900, I'm going to spend $17 and patch it myself for now. I've got kids and stuff that need me for things, so I'm trying to focus on that. But anyway, this is from a bank robbery, most likely. Me and the guy in O'Reilly's was just talking, and it looks like this is a fingerprint from a glove, a well-used glove. Anyway, we had a lot of little theories on it, and we came up with a nice storyline of what possibly could have happened and what these little marks, how they ended up like that. And why this is still in circulation. This has been going around. Like, this is likely not from a bank. It looks like the dirt, the tarnishing and whatnot on it is since the dye. So it's been going around for a while. Anyway, I'm keeping it. I'm going to frame it. I like that. And my channel has dropped off. Like, after that Trump shooting, it boomed. I went from 9,000 a month to like 278,000 a month, or 280 or something. 281, I think, was the highest month I had this summer since Trump got shot. And it's just because I talked a lot about Trump, because I'm not sitting on the fence. I have an opinion. I share it. People can like it. They don't have to like it. It's fine. But I share my thoughts because I do like, the storyline of my life and the things that go on around me, this storyline of others, and like this bank robbery, this ink dye from bank robbery on this $5 bill. I just think these stories are fun. I've wrote a lot of stories over my life. I like to write, but I live a lot of the life that I write. A lot of it's not fiction. A lot of it may have fictional characters like Rich Garvey Banton or some of the other characters that I've created, but it's not foreign from my actual real life point of view. All the natural disasters I went through, all the things that I went through with baby mamas, the moving around, travel, all the states and countries and continents I've been to and seas that I've sailed and whatnot. It's all been lived. It's a real life story, but I use some fictional elements and tell it a little differently, and fill in gaps or personal situations that I don't want to talk about. Not for my own self-preservation, but for others. And so I fill in the gaps with other interesting side stories. The side stories that would have went with the story, that are real life side stories, would have been book worthy themselves, but I tell it in a different way to protect the innocent, so to speak. And this is the thing. I got chewed out by my ex in Ireland because I recorded her. And I did record her because she scares me. I got nearly killed once when she had a borderline personality disorder splitting moment. And if you look up what splitting is, it's hard to explain that to the person who's going through it. Like they are living that reality. They are going from everything is lovely and great, and you're a friend, and you're a hero, you're a whatever. Like, they can be so positive, and then they can go from that to I hate you, I hate me, I hate everything, like instantly. And so when we would have these strange arguments where the splitting would happen, and I would try to explain to her, she'd be like, "Oh, you're just dodging, taking responsibility. You won't take responsibility for causing that fight. You won't, blah, blah, blah." And so a couple of times, I didn't even expect it, didn't coax it, didn't invite it, just by happenstance had the audio thing recording on my phone, the audio app. And, one time it recorded for 8.5 hours. Well, in that 8.5 hours, she had a 15-minute flip out. But everything was going well. Everything was doing great. We were having no problems. And then out of nowhere, and this is just, my experience. This is not only my experience, but what I recorded. But out of nowhere, she'd flip out, and I would be the enemy of the devil himself, maybe. And I wouldn't be the hero or the guy that she loved, or, I'd be the opposite of that. And then when I would try to tell her about it, she would deny that it was her that was having the denial. It was me. And I was like, oh, okay. So then I played it back. I was going to play it back for her, and she flipped out and we broke up. But I mean, I just couldn't live that way. I couldn't be responsible for every fight, especially when she's the one, you know, that is inciting it, and it's obviously her, you know, and it's what she's wrote about on her Facebook page for years. This thing called BPD, or borderline personality disorder, and this splitting thing that happens. So when I told her, I was like, it's only for you. I'm not recording it to like tell the world about it, you know, because I do make a lot of these vlogs, but I never intended to use those recordings, and I never have. I've got, I think, 23 or 24 of them to illustrate to her, you know, her causing these massive arguments with me. And I'm keeping them in an archive. You know, just if she ever wants to really recap history, I can show her where it went wrong, and that I wasn't trying to break up with her or leave her. I just couldn't continue being blamed or hurt for things that I'm not doing wrong, you know, when it's her overreacting. And so, no, I never shared them. I've never shared those at all. She called the police on me because I was trying to talk to my daughter. In fact, we had a scheduled time we both agreed to. She never told me not to call. I do call at a regularly scheduled time, and then she calls the police on me. And I get the police evidence. I get the call from the police, the FOIA request, and find out all this shit she's talking about. So then, yeah, I'm like, okay, well, maybe I could share all these fucking things. And I just, like, said that, you know, out of the side of my mouth. I didn't mean it, but, you know, she really took offense to it, that I might share those things. And whatever, but I have been ghosted from my daughter since April. March or April? I think it was April last time I spoke with my daughter. And, you know, 4 or 5 months now, going on 6, I guess. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've talked to my daughter in Ireland. I haven't missed calling her, you know, since she was born, and since basically I was let back into her life, because the mother had ghosted me before she was born because we had a big fight. She had a borderline personality splitting incident, and I got my face busted up. And another recording I can share, but I won't, about all that. But, you know, she'll take responsibility with me. She'll be like, yeah, okay, I fucked up. But with everybody else, she blames me. Like, I was about to get a vasectomy right before this whole incident or splitting issue, and she talked me out of it. She wanted a baby. The reason why I was over in Ireland to begin with is because she wanted the baby. She said that in 2019, that, hey, I'll marry you, you can get citizenship, and I want a baby out of it. And I talked to my ex-wife, and she was cool with it too. Another recording. I was on the Ring device at her house. But anyway, the finality of it all is that, you know, I find in statistics that human beings in major cities are recorded over 300 times a day without their knowledge. Sometimes in their own home. They have smart TVs that have video cameras on their TVs. I mean, there's all kinds of things. Surveillance cameras, Ring cameras, ATM cameras, traffic cameras, body cameras from police, smart glasses. Do I have my smart glasses? I don't. But no, people are recorded constantly. So, you know, I get where we would want to keep our privacy, our rights to privacy. But, you know, one person can't be like, okay, I'm recording everything that goes on in my house. And then if somebody else records in the same environment that's being recorded, then that's some sort of a infraction. Like, I don't think so. And so that's some of the things we argued about. And I just couldn't do it. I need peace in my life. I've got, you know, goals to achieve. And if I don't have peace at home and I'm fighting a war in the world, you know, I don't want to have it on both sides. I don't want to have a war on the business front and the world front and then have, you know, my safe space at home being invaded by war too. And so I had to give up on it. And, you know, it is what it is. But to ghost me from my child has been, it should be a crime. It should be an actual legal penalty to do that to somebody. You know, there's no, you know, consequences for people who alienate the other parent from their children. And it's an abusive tactic. It really should be considered a crime. It should be considered mental abuse or emotional abuse. I mean, that's a crime. If you do that to your elderly grandma, you're going to go to jail if you mentally or emotionally abuse her, you know, like that. Like, you know, do those kind of things. Like, it is abusive and it should be a crime. Anyway, that's my thoughts on the idea. And I will continue to blog, even though I've lost steam ever since this whole thing with the Trump shooting. It went from like 278,000 or something like that to it's down to about 110,000. So it's dropped off more than half. And even if it drops back down to 9,000 views a month, I'll still continue to do videos. I write a journal. Nobody reads that journal. That's for me only. I mean, that's just kind of how I roll. I like to document things, something that I'm interested in.